and you redivide the continent, make the Europeans dependent. If Russians weakened, it makes sense from my perspective, though. But in a multipolar world, all NATO expansion does is push Russia to China, and it keeps the US in Europe where it wants to pivot away from. So there has to be some strategic changes, I think. So,
Glenn, you've had John Mearsheimer on. He's one of the people that told me that I was part of his Realism School of International Relations. I had practiced realism for 27 years as an analyst of Soviet Union and Russia, but I was delighted to hear that it was his realistic school. As a matter of fact, I asked him, are there others? Are there other schools? Well, apparently there are. Ideological or values. I don't understand it. We look at the facts, right? And the facts are, as Mearsheimer said 11 years ago in a major article in Foreign Affairs, the most prestigious foreign policy, as you well know, Glenn, he said, look, the deterioration of the situation in Ukraine is the fault of the West. And if the West continues to try to get Ukraine into NATO, it will result in the destruction of Ukraine. That's a direct quote. Okay. Now, many years later, about 5 years ago, I had a chance to ask John before a very large group. Now, John, the Russians invaded Ukraine. People were saying this is unprovoked. You seem to think that, you kind of predicted that's exactly what they would. So how do you feel about that? Well, John very succinctly said, look, in my view, it's demonstrable that Putin did everything in his power to prevent having to invade Ukraine. Minsk 1, Minsk 2, not to mention the Istanbul Accord that was concluded just 6 weeks after the invasion. So, unprovoked? No, I think he had no other choice, says John Mearsheimer. And so do